these are autumn blaze maples that we planted in the spring. Now it's in the winter time. It's January 23rd, and it was just a beautiful day out, so it was time to go trim some trees, take advantage of the time. But this is 1 year after it's been planted as a whip in the field, a 6-foot tall whip. We're just going to go through and trim this guy up a little bit and re-tape him. So before I do anything, the first thing I do is I always trim before I stake, just because it's better. That way it's easier to work around the stake rather than having the tree free from the stake rather than being pressed up against the stake to work on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is that when we sell these trees, I want the first branching to be right about there. So this branch is too low. We're going to take that branch off and all the small ones down the bottom. So that's pretty good about where I want the branching to start, and about in that area. If I want to, I can come back later and remove some more, but for now it's pretty good. So now we're going to go up to the top. We're going to try to make one single leader. So that's definitely going to be the leader. We're going to eliminate competition at that point right there, so that will be the leader. So then we're going to go and subordinate the prune, or the lead. So there's only one leader. You know that's what it's going to be. No arguing there on that, and no competition from them later on. So we're going to go down and we're going to make ourselves somewhat of a little bit more rounded of a tree. So we have all the tips all knocked back. There's buds wherever we're cut at. So next year, when the spring comes out, it's going to flush right there, and we're not going to have any stub there anymore. That's basically all the trimming I'm going to do with it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to tape it up again. We use the staple gun to do the initial tying up, because when you have 500 or 600 of these guys and you're tying them all by hand, it's hours. So to go a little faster, we use the staple gun. But sometimes the staples come loose and sometimes they stay on at all. They're not as effective, but it's really fast. So over the winter time, when we have more time, we'll go through and just clean them up so that they are secured to the stake a little bit better. We'll get a little bit straighter of a trunk to the tree. And we could, if we wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to, is we could have had a little bit larger of a stake, maybe a stake that was 2 feet larger, and we could have made that one straight, and then we would have a really nice looking tree. But for right now, I think it's pretty good for right there. One other thing, if you could walk over this way, and you can see there's sap coming down on this cut right here. Every cut you do on a maple, no matter how big or small it is, you're going to have that running. And the bigger the cut, the more the sap's coming out. Regardless of what you do or how you prune it, that sap's going to come out. There's no way of really stopping that, and we call that bleeding. If you see that, don't be worried. It's just one of the things that maple trees do when they get cut.
If you notice on these trees, there's absolutely no deer damage. And that's because this farm is fenced with an 8-foot high fence. If you have a small tree like this and there's deer in your area, you will also need to have a tree guard on it. These don't have tree guards because there are very few deer that get in here. Those that do seem to end up on somebody's dinner table. These are maples that are tagged and ready to dig. These are available at Highland Hill Farm on Route 313 in Fountainville, PA. We'll be digging these for the spring of 2018. These are 2-inch red maples.
Farm is located at 5275 West Swamp Road, Fountainville.